There's every reason to expect a record voter turnout by November 3rd, but there's still no guarantee. So, why are you voting? It's Elliot. You know, the recent death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has forced extra urgency on the results of November's presidential election. Your vote is beyond paramount and could, according to many, decide whether democracy in America lives or dies. A few people know this more than Rona Siddiqui. Award-winning composer and lyricist, Siddiqui has created original scores for such plays as Middletown, The Vagina Monologues, and The Good Person of Szechuan. Her show, Salam Medina, Tales of a Afghan, is an autobiographical comedy about growing up bi-ethnic in America. Her political passions and creative muse recently collaborated with voting advocates Just One Step for Democracy to create Knowledge Rules, a series of song-based civic lessons designed to educate potential voters.
Now when one's about to croak, you had to stay woke, cause it's the presidents who pick the next nominee. They'll pick one who shares their views, but they don't get to choose. It's Congress who decides who gets the seat. And if they don't like what they see, then they'll say, no, 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 no.
Rona Siddiqui joins us now from her home studio, in fact, in the Eastern Tier. Rona, hello there.
Elliot, hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us today. You young lady, are a busy woman. Took me like an hour to get through everything that you do and that you've been doing. What are you working on now? What's most important to you at this point?
Well, I think what is most important is making sure that we're getting people out there to vote right now. And just watching that moment of the Supreme Court song, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, go figure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to talk to as many people as I can. I have a voting song that I try and inspire people to understand that
Sure.
Our democracy is really at stake, and we are the ones that need to imagine what our future needs to be.
Yeah.
Now.
So a lot of your creative energy, I imagine, has gone into this political process. Has it always been like that, or how did it evolve?
I've always been an active participant in democracy in terms of voting. I've always voted. My parents when they used to vote, they used to take me with them, and I loved that day. I loved walking to the polls and standing in the line and being with them. And so that, just like going to school was instilled in me, so was voting. So I knew that was something I'd always do. But in terms of it being a part of my work, I think it always has been subconsciously, but not as directly as I'm doing right now. Like writing a song about voting, writing a song about the Supreme Court. I'm being very direct right now in a way I've never have.
You talk very much or a lot, and your work is very centered on your bi-ethnic background. Tell me about that and how it impacts your perspective on the process of voting.
Yeah, my dad is from Afghanistan, actually. So it's hearing the stories of what a lot of my family members had been through, in terms of a lot of them living through, when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan in '79, and so the communists were there, and then many of them fled, and then the Taliban taking over. The government there for a long time has been in flux, and we've watched elections. They've just dealt with a lot of fraud, a lot of voter intimidation at the polls. I think at one point the Taliban, they vote in Afghanistan, they use ink on their finger, and that's how you know they voted. And at one point, there were threats of if the Taliban saw your finger with ink on it, they would chop your finger off. It's like you're watching extreme tactics, intimidation tactics like that, and so you're getting low voter turnout. And it's scary to think that anything like that could happen here. I think we've taken for granted for a long time our democracy, and right now it feels like it's being threatened.
Yeah, it certainly does, and I think a lot of people would absolutely agree with you. What do you and I've asked this question of almost everyone who's come in here because I think we've all run into the same thing. What do you do? How do you respond to people, especially in the arts community? Because I know it's not a monolith, and no one is. So we do find people who are like, I don't know if I'm going to vote this year. I don't know. There's no one to vote for, and I don't like that candidate. And it's my vote doesn't count. What do you do with those folks?
Right. Whew.
Yeah.
This just happened to me the other day with a family member of mine, actually, who lives in Florida. And they just said, I'm not going to vote. I'm just not really into either candidate. And I just was like, what? I think if I could just, say a couple of points to those people, it would be, we need to protect the environment. We have to have a president who trusts science, believes in global warming, and is going to do whatever they can do to get us off this path toward the destruction of our globe, of our Earth. I think that's kind of an issue that everybody needs to get behind.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then, go ahead.
No. I was going to say, it's such a difficult election year this year, and I in my memory, and I go back a few presidents. I hesitate to tell you how many. I want to date myself here, do we? But it is the most difficult time of our modern lives. And so there's a phrase that's going on around out there now. People are encouraging each other to plan to vote because there's not any one way to do it. We've met some resistance at every turn. When I say we, every citizen in this country. I'm not concerned generally about who you're voting. It's just a matter of getting out there and voting. Have you considered how you plan to vote this year?
Well, first of all, I've signed up to be a poll worker. So if I get accepted,
no kid.
Then I will be there, and that will be that. But my plan is to vote on election day. I have made that plan, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I feel like I've lived in the same neighborhood for 7 years. I've always been able to smoothly vote here, never a line. I'm confident that my district is going to have it on lock. But if other people don't feel confident about that, have experienced lines in the past, that kind of thing, I would say by all means, if you're going to vote early, get it in the mail now, do it now, or request that ballot now, as early as you can.
Absolutely. Get it done now as much as you can.
Yeah.
Rona Siddiqui, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's been a pleasure. I've watched your work for some time. I've watched a lot of it on Just One Step for Democracy. Continued success and best of luck going forward.
Thank you so much, Elliot. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. You bet.
Take care.
Well, keep in mind, there are just a little over 30 days left to go before the November 3rd vote. Remember, that is not your first chance to vote. In many ways, it's your last. So we've left some links below in the comments to help you vote conveniently and safely. Remember to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, then go vote. In person, vote by mail if you have to. Vote early if you can. But please, go vote.